So, hello, welcome to my channel. I am Mildly Gothic, and if you can't guess, today I'm talking about Lego. This is going to be a much more me in the video than I've done. I was thinking of doing a little bit of kind of a vlog thing because this past weekend I did go to Brickfair, Virginia 2022. But I'm bad at remembering to film myself. So instead I have a variety of pictures that I've put together in some collages that I'll get to. But first off, if you don't know what Brickfair is a fan Lego event. I do not know when it started, but my parents and I have been going to the Virginia Brickfair since 2008. It typically happens at kind of the beginning of August, and it's super fun. There's games, prizes, if you go as a registered member, that is, and you can win Lego, talk to people in the community, see a lot of really cool mocks. I have a variety of my own here, and it's overall just kind of one of the coolest events. I've never been to any other conventions, so I can't really say how it compares, but I thoroughly enjoy Brickfair, the people, the community. They're really, really wonderful. So, the cool things I saw this year, cue slideshow and videos of fun things with text talking about them. One of the coolest things this year is they had a lot of people from the Season 3 cast of LEGO Masters. Last year they had some people from Season 1 and 2, which were kind of fun to talk to, and you could see their stuff. This year it seemed like they had almost all of Season 3 and then some people from the previous seasons. If I have anything to say about the LEGO Masters contestants, they are so sweet. All of them were incredibly nice, willing to talk to you about their experience, their build, what they like to build, random stuff. They were just genuinely some of the nicest people to talk to and interact with, and it's wonderful that they're a part of it. So as far as what we did this year, I did not exhibit anything this year. I have in years past. Typically in the past, Brickfair had a theme. One year the theme was love, so I built a brick version of the chorus of All You Need Is Love, like the sheet music from the Beatles. And I got to argue with somebody over the correctness of the notes. That was interesting. And then one year the theme was puzzles, and this is actually one that I took that year, but the one that actually got me nominated for a Brickie, and I'll get to what those are, is not here. It was a larger interactive puzzle box. One of the fun things that Brickfair does is there's awards called Brickies. Brickies are trophies, awards. And you can get nominated for a Brickie in a variety of ways. There's different categories like small town building, train engine, watercraft, aircraft, and then there's more specific ones like bionicle humanoid or pop culture. They might have done a Star Wars, I don't remember. A lot of Star Wars Lego. But typically about 2 to 3 mocks get nominated for a Brickie, and then the community votes, the registered attendees vote. If you're not a registered attendee, the hours are only Saturday and Sunday from about 10 to 5 and 10 to 4. And you get so much out of being a registered member. If you ever get a chance to attend Brickfair, if you can afford it, highly recommend going as a registered member. I think it's about $100 per person, but that then doesn't cover if you have to travel, housing, or lodging, all of that. So totally understandable. You know, if you still want to just kind of get the cool experience, go as a public member. But if you can go as a registered guest or attendee, I highly recommend it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Lego that I've done, considering I was bad at filming what we did at Brickfair. So what did we do at Brickfair? Wow, can you tell that I haven't scripted or prepared for any of this? Maybe not, maybe I did good in editing. We'll see. I am trying a different editor today with this video, so we'll see how that turns out. I have my little Lego heart earrings on. My mom got me some new studs. I also have Lego Minecraft axolotl earrings that my father purchased for me. Thanks. A lot of Lego swag. There's a lot of vendors there, so if you ever want to buy Lego, Brickfair. One of the events that we got to do was called the blind build, and so I've got some pictures of that, so I'll probably put that collage here. But you put your hands through this little curtain thing. There's a tray on the other side, and that has your pieces. You can see the instructions and the box. You can't see what you're building, and it's timed. You have to try to build your thing fastest and most correct in order to win. If you get a piece wrong, there's a time penalty. I think it's like 10 seconds. So if you only make 2 mistakes and nobody else is immediately after you, you win. You get to keep that Lego and you get a prize. And no matter if you win or lose, you get to keep the kit that you were building. We also got to participate in the Great Ball Contraption Workshop, and the Great Ball Contraption is something that's been at Brickfair forever. It's this giant set of tables, and they pass the little Lego soccer balls all around the table in a variety of really cool ways. And so a couple years ago, they started doing these workshops where they sold, I don't have my kit with me, but they sold the kits. Do I? I don't know where it is. But they sold kits for different types of modules, because you'll notice when you look at the Great Ball Contraption, there's a couple of repeating, I'm gonna call them theories of physics as to how to move the balls. And so it's always really interesting to see people come up with new ones, but there are a couple standard ones that you see, and that's kind of what those workshop modules teach you, is the technique and the components, the mechanics of how to actually accomplish that, which I thought was really fun this year. There's some other games called Dirty Buildster, where it's a random pick-a-brick bucket, and you have to build something in a certain amount of time. And just like the show Lego Masters, they judge you on like creativity, storytelling, so you always want to have something going on. My mother won this game because she stuck a space helmet on a dog, and everybody just thought it was the cutest thing, so she was the one who won that one. Sometimes, however, the brick selection in the pick-a-brick bucket, you can get a little screwed over. One year, somebody got a bucket and it had mostly tiles in it. Nothing with studs. All they really had were tiles. Which, fun fact, you kind of need some studs to really build things, so they just kind of made a little mosaic on the table. But the other type, there's another game that's very similar to that one called a combo build. They give you 2 sets, and you have to use both of them to combine into something else. That was super fun. But all of the games are a lottery system, and so you just, when you sign up as a registered member, you throw your hat in the ring for all of the things you possibly want to participate in, and then they randomly select who gets to participate. That was super fun. But all of the games are a lottery system, and so you just, when you sign up as a registered member, you throw your hat in the ring for all of the things you possibly want to participate in, and then they randomly select who gets to participate. My nose is itchy! So, now to my Lego. So, everything on this table is something that I made. I am quite proud of all of them. Unfortunately, he's a little broken. So if you can't tell what things are, this is a ukulele. It's got a little stand that I made. You can actually hold it by the neck. It is supported. I try not to because I'm still scared it's going to break. This is supposed to be a butterfly. I think it looks like a butterfly. My family doesn't, but that's fine. I love the detailing I got on the sides. It just looks really clean. I have the fret markers. I've got the little pin turns up there. There's a few discolored pieces. I don't know if you can tell, see the coloration on that. I just haven't gotten around to bricklinking that part, I guess. This one I made, all of these I made with the Lego that is in my parents' house. I don't have much here. I am notoriously bad at building things that are not strong. That's a sentence. Jacob's idea was to take some of these things apart and put them back together. The problem is I built so many of these so long ago, I really would be terrified that I'm not going to put it back together properly. So I'm just pleased that this is strong enough that I can do this. I think it's really cute. I think it's adorable, and it sits up on my hutch as a little display thing. This is absolutely one of my favorite things that I've built. The earliest thing that's at least on this table is this. This usually sits on my desk at work, and it's a Lego puzzle cube, and I like to torment my coworkers by giving it to them and asking them to solve it. So the first step is being able to take it apart. These are all plates. If you don't know, plates actually have the highest clutch or grip strength in Lego, in comparison to bricks, that is. So I needed the plates because doing this with bricks, you'd be surprised, you're not going to get the same kind of like tension and tightness between the pieces that really make it more of a puzzle, in my opinion. So the fun thing is most people can get it apart, but then it's the question of how do you put it back together? And that, well, you know, I built this several years ago, so I'm used to it. But that, in my opinion, is not very hard. So Fred, well, so if you recognize this one, I would be pleased. He might look a little weird. This is Fred from Big Hero 6 in his creature outfit. He's very blocky, but also if you saw Fred is blocky. Fred's arm broke recently. I just brought him home, and you're never gonna be able to see it. The clip on one of the ball joints is completely broken. I pulled his, now I have a separate piece. I pulled his limbs off to make him fit in a box better because he's a little large, and unfortunately one of the clips snapped. So I think he's fun. He's super cool. I built this one. I'm also, I don't know, with everything I've built, I try to do something different. And I don't think I'm very good at sculpting figures out of Lego. So Fred was kind of an attempt to get better at that, which I think worked quite well. I really like him, but you know, you can tell me what you want. I know there's some mismatched colors and blues because I'm just building with what I have and I don't have access to every piece in every color. I could finish him out by bricklinking those parts in those right colors. I just haven't gotten to that step. To be honest, he's lived at my parents' house until this weekend, and my parents are 10 hours away by car, so it's a little hard to get to my boys. This is a fun thing I built last year at Brickfair out of, I think, the parts we got from a Dirty Buildster or something. It's a spaceship. It's just, it opens, there's little seats inside. It's a super rudimentary spaceship, but I think it's cute, so I kept it. So then the last thing I've got over here is a rose. And Fred. So this rose, I really enjoy. It's a black rose. It's just seated. It's not, the top part of the rose is not actually attached to the base. If I drop this, I'm going to cry. It's done. So the base of this rose, the center two layers are actually centered and stacked upwards. So it's a brick, a stud, a 1x1 brick that has a stud on all 4 sides. The English language is failing me today, and I sincerely apologize for the rambling. But the piece in the center is a 1x1 stud that has a stud on either side, brick that has a stud on either side with angle pieces. This required a lot of sitting and sifting through plates to find the right sizes and angles, and it's my proudest thing is the outside of the rose has like these double angled petals. The outside layers of this are actually quite fragile. The center isn't. I can, do this, but if I start trying to squish and condense things, it's actually going to start falling apart. All the clips in this are, put this back real quick. However you go back. There we go. So Lego has a few different types of clips or joints. Fred has what's called ball joints, so you have a ball in a socket, and then that's what, moves, very similar to joints. Then there's clips, so it's one side is a bar and then a clip, and then they click, and these typically can only move up and down. These have no secondary degree of motion. Then there's click with a CK versus clip with a, LIP. So click hinges, again, only have 1 degree of motion, but they have very set degrees of motion. So a clip hinge, you can set at any angle you want. A click hinge has set, it can only bend at certain points. Those are stronger and will actually hold their angle. Clip hinges tend to not hold their weight. So those are if you want to hang something or just have a static detail that doesn't need to actually stay at that angle with nothing between them. That's not going to work. You want a click hinge if you need it to actually stay and support itself at that angle. Granted, there is always a point where structurally it's just not going to work anymore, but that's kind of the difference. All of these are clip hinges because they're only under the weight of 3 plates, so they're going to hold what they need. And again, if it's only under a few plates, it'll be fine, but typically, if you want it to actually stay, I wouldn't really use that unless it's I don't know. Use your judgment as you will. This is a bad explanation of Lego clips. And then the stem is very simply a Lego pneumatic bendy tube, because Lego did a pneumatic line, so the base of this tube bends. And I threaded cylinders on it. The cylinders are not connected to each other, which is how it still is allowed to bend. And then I used some more clip hinges in there to get the leaf and kind of stem bits. And it's a jumper on the bottom of the top of this that connects to the base of this. I didn't actually make them solid because it was going to be, in my opinion, too difficult to maintain or achieve the same delicate curve if I did that. So instead, you get this kind of really nice illusion of this rose laying on the bottom. And as you can see, the base is riddled, just knocking pieces off. The base is riddled with holes because again, I think you can see where most of my brown slopes went. This was built first. So after building this, yeah, I didn't really have many slopes for a base. So I used what I could and made the base. And it's just a clear frame supporting the rose. So these are just some of the projects. I am working currently on trying to design a much larger project, the biggest one I've ever done. I think to date, other than the music staff, this is probably the biggest thing that I've built. And it's not really that big, so that's kind of saying something. I'm very excited and very much looking forward to the progress of that, and if I actually get to buying the parts and all of that, then maybe I'll make some videos for that. A lot of that. I really should start scripting these, but this is just supposed to be a little quick video, kind of fun, random, considering I don't really have much else. So, I hope you enjoyed the pictures of what Brickfair currently is. I hope you found my rambles about my own creations interesting, and maybe I'll see you at Brickfair sometime. But in the meantime, thank you for tuning in to a different flavor of chaos today, and I hope you enjoyed and that I will see you in the next one. Bye!